Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mosk Pod. This is our second episode of the semester, and I'm glad to have you all with us again. And as we continue down the semester and overall episodes, I'll carry more information with me, and we'll keep going over through there. It's been quite a busy week for me, but I am looking forward to spreading new information today, as I promised you throughout the semester. So, today won't be just about sports, it will be a little bit neurodiversity, a little bit of sort of breaking news around the world. I know you guys all want to hear the important topic, and I'll start with the most important topic from yesterday, and that would be the Super Bowl. Um, for me, the game sort of went how I predicted actually, which is very odd and very different from what usually happens. But Mahomes, Kansas City pulls out at the end. Young guy makes the last catch and runs into the end zone. Game is over. I think it was good that it was overtime game, made it more exciting, but overall, it was a little conservative and all. Good game overall, honestly, back and forth. You usually see this last few years versus the Chiefs. The other team has success in the first half. You think Mahomes lost it or something, but he gets it going in the second half. He didn't. He wasn't too dominant this game. Didn't really find it throughout, but just had enough energy, enough to get them over the top to the victory at the end. But yeah, very conservative overall. Uh, Halftime was, I don't know what that was. That was a total mess and all. Um, One of the worst I've seen, maybe ever. Definitely in the past few years though. Definitely felt rushed and all. I liked the guests he Usher bring in, like Alicia Keys. You got Lil Jon in there. He was good for 30 seconds. Couple other people, Ludacris, all them. Uh, I thought they were actually the star of the show and not Usher, but Usher was, you know, titled as the halftime performer. Didn't really see him do much, honestly. Uh, I just think he's outdated now, and you know doesn't really have his prime stuff anymore. I know he's going on tour. I wouldn't go to see that at all. He used to be really good and stuff, but yeah, very outdated now. Not in his prime anymore. Um, I hope Super Bowl can bring back top talent. Maybe people currently on tour, um, just because they'll have new stuff for us and a little variety as well. Um, Overall, because people do like halftime performances and people like the whole game. I think people mostly see a halftime, and then the football fans, want a good football game. You also get the ads, which have basically disappeared now. Not as iconic as they were before. I didn't even notice many Super Bowl ads that were designated for Super Bowl. So I don't know. I know I've told you guys I'm not the biggest NFL fan. It's something I have to do for this podcast though, but I do enjoy all sports. Don't get me wrong, but NFL is my least favorite. I thought it was a good game, but it was very low scoring, like I predicted it to be. I actually predicted 20-12 Chiefs would win. By that score, it was 25-22. So a little off, but not too far off. Still low scoring and all. Again, like I thought, very conservative. A lot of field goal attempts and all. Just a few interceptions and fumbles. Um, Other than that, basic back and forth football game. Pretty tight the whole way. Mahomes and Chiefs, even though they were down by 10, were able to pull it out. Um, yeah. If in the chat you want to write down what you thought of the halftime performance. If you predicted correctly Super Bowl score, I would actually want to hear that because I'm sure um, at least a part of you were on the right track. But yeah, that's my Super Bowl take, really. Not much different from other Super Bowls, but the halftime show really stood out as not as good quality. So, yeah, that's my take on the Super Bowl. Before I get into other sports today, I did want to, read a little bit from article I printed, but it's mainly a reflection to what happened on Friday. So it's a neurodiversity related thing. Um, as you know, I have autism and all that, and I love sort of sharing that. I used to not like sharing that at all, but now I like sharing that. I like, presenting all the different disabilities. We have a neurodiversity club on campus that I'm a part of, and I like sort of spreading out, having different presentations on all the different disabilities there are and, inviting people and, starting some conversations, relationships that way. Really good way to get connected with other people struggling every day and really, trying to find themselves, especially here in the college world as they get up there in professional world. But yeah, so this past Friday, and I don't need to necessarily read from here because it's basically the same thing as I'm going to say now. But on Friday, our club had a trip to New York City to see How to Dance in Ohio on Broadway. It is actually out of the studios now, so I'm sorry. I can give anything away here because it's out of the studios now. It might become a documentary, but that'll be a little different. Um, but yeah, really, the fact that we went to New York City and saw this, it was a great interaction with our club and outside people. We had about 10 people come with us. It was good. Uh, we traveled to the city, hung out, and then saw the show, came back. But really, How to Dance in Ohio, the key message was related to autism, the autism spectrum part of it. The actors in the show, the main actors, there were 8 of them. Or there were about 8 to 10 and a couple of adults. One was a teacher, sort of introducing this girl into a group of autistic students. She was autistic too, and it took her a while to get, into it, used to the class, and actually find who she was. Um, the key message here too, or not key message, the key point, there was a dance, um, a dance sort of formal thing. They had a 100-day countdown, showing on the stage, and we were in the front row, or the bottom row, a few rows back actually, and we saw the whole thing on stage, so that was good. But yeah, they had a 100-day countdown to the formal, and this girl who came in, me and the other people in the class, she was the last one. She actually had to get used to it and find a partner by the time the dance come came. But she could dance by herself, obviously, but they were really getting to the point where they needed a partner and sort of bond and relationship and all that. Not like dating, but like relationship itself as the dance came, so they needed partners. Um, but yeah, and then at the end, they all found partners. They started dancing, and they all liked each other. They got used to it being, all of them were autistic and very, very relatable to how I sort of went to elementary school, the private middle school, back to public high school, and now Iona. Um, Yeah, really relatable how I tried to fit in. It took me forever. I have friendships, but it's sort of like it's not close. It's like friendships, um, but not like close. But you know, just saying hi to people in the hallway. It's amazing feeling, honestly, and you know, just meeting up to play a game of basketball, shoot around, anything, even walking around campus, yeah, just high-fiving, like I said before. Participating in clubs and, neurodiversity is really helping out with that. Meeting new members, meeting new people around campus from that, and also collaborating, and plus the e-board, obviously. But, the people I work with. I was a mentor for this course called Gale Chat, where bringing people with it was focused on people with disabilities together, and we had conversation builders, all that. And by the time I took it 4 times, I took it once each semester up to my senior year, which is now. I don't take it anymore because I have outside ESPN work and a little bit of observing classrooms and um, other stuff. ESPN, I work at West Point, so that's about hour and a half. I'm up there all weekend, all day, doing some work there. But yeah, other than that, being a mentor for Gale Chat was very memorable and something to really put on my resume. And these, I yeah, every time I see these kids around campus, it's amazing giving them high fives, asking how their day's going. It it feels really good, honestly, and something to build off of. They now are gaining their confidence and showing themselves out around campus, which is really good to see. Some people in the CAP program here, which is college assistant prep stuff. Um, it's you get accommodations with them. They have tutoring options available and all. I used to be a part of them. I'm not anymore since I did outgrow sort of their expectations, but I'm in the uh the ASO, which um I get I get accommodations still with them. Um, but it's a little not as on you sort of thing. But yeah, with How to Dance in Ohio, really memorable and relatable. We got to hear from all our members and people with us on the trip. It was a really good night overall, and you know, their reflections back showed um just confidence sort of in how they've grown um over the years with autism or different disabilities that they have. We had a wide variety of people with different disabilities. Yeah, just overall good that they shared and we got to understand and build a bond that way. I thought it was a really good night overall, and Neurodiversity Club is going to keep building on these type of events and try to pair up the members and outside group to learn more about each other and create these bonds along the way. So yeah, that was really my take out of it. Let's see if we have anything else. Um, no. That's all I wanted to do with the Broadway show there. We do have more events like tomorrow pending, right? Because we might have snow. Um, I don't know, anywhere from 6 to 8 inches. I was hearing in my home city of Stanford. I didn't necessarily look for New Rochelle, but it can't be too much different. We're gonna have snow after the rain, and it's gonna be above freezing temp weather because it's gonna happen, sort of when we're waking up, um, 7 8 a.m. Uh, but we will hear earlier what the outcome will be for the whole day and if classes are canceled, whatever it is. Um, but yeah, be on the lookout for that because we are expecting snow. Um, but yeah, if if we're on tomorrow, then Neurodiversity will have the Valentine's Day event, and you know, doing healthy versus not healthy relationships, all that. Um, it's a collab with the Give Grant program I'm a part of as a student advisory board member. Um, so that should be good. Um, yeah, and really with that, continuing to create these bonds, friendships, and share personal experiences in life, sort of thing. Um, yeah, it's been good that way. Just moving on to baseball really quickly. Um, I don't have much today with baseball. The Mets, as I presented or mentioned last week, not too good of an off season, I would say. Definitely holding on to that money, which I I don't necessarily know what direction we're headed in. Except for we have young guys who, again, in 3-4 years can, shine and maybe get up there in level and get as far into a playoff run. But again, you'll have to face these Atlanta Braves and Philadelphia Phillies. And, if the Nats can grow in their system, uh, and, you have the Marlins who are going to be mediocre, but, can always be a surprise every now and then. Uh, we'll see where it takes them, being the Mets, but it's going to be very competitive always in that division, the NL East. Um, let's hope the Mets can do something in the next few years because, they'll have a very small sort of slot to show their power with all the power that's in their division. We expect Senga to be back good. Diaz out of the bullpen to be back good. I'm looking forward to Alonso, uh, Nimmo, Lindor. I was never a Jeff McNeil fan, so I'm not going to say I'm looking forward to that at all. But he always hits for a high batting average, which you could appreciate. Um, I guess he's a hard worker. I just don't like the way his offense is at the plate. Half swings, bunts, all that. I know they're part of the baseball game, but I'm just not a big fan of that kind of game. I like the power hitters, the power hitters who hit 40 to 50 home runs. Um, like Alonso has done it now a few times. And hit 53 as a rookie for the top rookie ever to do it. Being a judge of the Yankees. But I'm not gonna fight with that. The Yankees, have everything over the Mets except for the rookie, you know, situation with the home runs. Even Judge, even though he didn't pass Alonso's rookie record, or he went before and hit 52 or whatever it was. Still the overall better player by far in New York, and as a power hitter, outfielder, he's shown greatness. Judge has, and really, the Yankees' overall power. Garrett Cole is probably the best American League pitcher out there still currently. You got Rodon, hopefully a bounce back year. Stroman now. Um, you know, not too much else. Soto, I almost listen. I almost forgot about him. I cannot forget about him. Soto was a big acquisition. I don't know if it's going to get them over the hump in the AL East, but it certainly helps. Their case, Judge, Soto, Stanton, big power three, but I think Soto and Judge is really going to help, like, overall the future success. Because they are still very young. Remember, Soto was 19 when he joined the league, and it's only been like 4 years since that. So him being young, having lots of power, is going to help score runs. He's a mediocre out defense out there, outfielder, and he'll be, he can move to different spots though, and Judge will be your normal right fielder out there, robbing home runs with his height and jumping ability. Um, he's gonna be great. I think we'll see from the start again. I always say it. We'll see. It's a matter of how they start, but it is a factor of how they finish, and that's the factor that most times in a season decides where you land in the standings in your own division, and having that momentum carrying into the playoffs really matters. The postseason, it really matters. Even in the wild card, even if you make the wild card, you gotta have your full roster healthy and all going into it. So yeah, if a team has that, then they make long runs. We saw the Phillies do it from the wild card to the finals, and that was because they got healthy at the right time. If you know, if they didn't, what would have happened. They would have lost in the wild card or they first round exit, whatever. But fact is, they made it all the way to the World Series from third place. Actually, that was the year the Mets were in second. Had the lead for most of the season. But they really gave it up to the Braves that last um set of games, or the second to last series that they had like 6 games versus the Braves, and the Braves won like that. Oh no, they only had 3. They, I think they swept, and there was a series like not too long prior to that Atlanta won the series and helped them to get the um first place in the division, and the Mets won 1 game, but they lost 2, and they were all at Citi Field. It was very disappointing, and we were favored, being at home, better record, everything. We still were healthy enough to win games, but it just didn't come together. And the Padres, had it all going versus our older pitching. Max Scherzer, um, who was there? It, I think they put out, uh, I don't think it was Verlander. Um, It it definitely Scherzer, DeGrom. It wasn't Verlander, nah. It was, I'd have to think about that. It wasn't that long ago, so I should remember that by the end of this episode and can update you on that. We know Alonso hit a few home runs. Um, not too many others. I think some of the catchers came through, but really, really slow and silent offense from us, and the opposite for the Padres. I know I hate or I can't say hate. I don't like Joe Musgrove on the Padres, who threw like a 1 or 2 hitter, a shutout. Oh my god, that was game 3 too. The game we got eliminated. That was really bad. You Darvish, they still had Snell, I think. Um, Snell was the only one who struggled that series, and that's the game we won. That's the only game where our offense sort of came through and we're able to score 6, 7 runs. Other than that, we were able to do nothing at all, and it was very disappointing to say the least. We had high hopes to make it far, even before we met the Braves, before the division, was you know um, settled, and Mets had the lead for most of the season, and they should have taken it. Even if they won 4 out of the 6 games of the last 2 series and lost 2, would have been fine. They would have still had first place, but no, they lost like 5 of 6, and that made the difference. They won 2 of 3 versus the Marlins, but Braves already sealed it with another win, so they were ahead after the second to last series. Very disappointing, and I didn't I didn't like that we were in the wild card, but definitely should have pulled it out versus the okay Padres, but they seemed really powerful during the series. So they even went on to beat the Dodgers, which were top notch too. So they were, give them credit. They were pulling out upsets all around. But yeah, the Mets should have taken it. And on the other side, the Yankees, you know, usual second, third round exit before the World Series comes. Houston ends up moving on the last few years, and then Texas finally, beats the Astros and moves on to World Series. That was the fact with the Phillies that they got strong at the right moment. Texas was strong all year, but really strong in the postseason specifically. And it was able to carry them on to the World Series championship, which the Phillies weren't able to do versus the Astros. Phillies also had a choke up in the Arizona series. I know you gotta give credit to Arizona, but you cannot let them get to a World Series with that young of a team versus and a little weaker than the Phillies, which have power all down the lineup. Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Castellanos, Harper, Bohm, Stott. You could keep naming players. Real Muto, I don't think I said yet. You can even keep going from there. Pitching staff too. Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, Suarez. You got Lorenzen too from Detroit at the trade deadline. Really, really should have made it to the World Series. I think that's what their hopes were. Not sort of like you know break or make. I think they really had their eyes set on the World Series. And I did once the postseason started, I did predict the Rangers to make it to a World Series, but if the Phillies made it, I think they would have, shown themselves and made a run at the World Series. And ultimately, I think they would have beaten Texas, but it would have been very close. It would have gone 7 games. The fact that Arizona made it definitely gave Texas the advantage. And it's a good thing they took it in 5. I, s- I predicted a sweep, honestly, with Arizona being the weaker team. Again, and I'll say again, you gotta give credit to them. Corbin Carroll really came through. Zach Allen, Cy Young contender, and really the whole team came together. Christian Walker, power bat. Uh, just heroes around the lineup, all around the lineup too. Texas really had the power though. Dolis Garcia, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, Nathaniel Lowe, Josh Young. You got others to they came through at the right moment, let's just be honest. And the pitching staff was there. DeGrom finally gets a World Series ring. Scherzer gets another one. John Gray, who's been there since they got Seager and Semien a couple of years back. Uh, Jordan Montgomery, he really came through too. And you got Nathan Eovaldi, who is definitely more of a postseason pitcher, and that is very key to having them go on to win the World Series. And I think that's the most important factor. Having experience in the postseason, and especially if you pitch very well, it can take you extremely far beyond beyond the first few rounds into the World Series and getting that ring, which is very important to the careers of people and the MLB. Uh, and it can be a life story to your grandchildren, your even uh, uh, your children itself. Um, it can be a lifelong story though, and you'll be popular for it, memorized for it, because you're a professional player winning championships, and possibly the Hall of Fame too. Scherzer and DeGrom will be for sure. Corey Seager, we'll see if he makes a run at it with how successful he's been. You got the obvious ones around the league though, like Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge. We'll see if Pete Alonso gets there. I'm sure he'll make a case for it. Uh, Other than that, yeah, there's some more obvious ones I can name, but that's not really the topic. But being a Hall of Fame, being World Series champion, it'll get you up there and recognized as well. Um, that's really it for baseball. I did want to hit up basketball, and I do have slight, not too much because it's only been a week, but I do have slight changes to the rankings of the standings. Not standings, sorry. The Based off the teams this year, I changed the rankings, power rankings, just from this past week. So just a few teams have changed, and I'll go through it. But starting off with the Knicks, I think you know nothing could be said less than they had a amazing trade deadline acquiring Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks, and they gave away just three pieces, and I don't think it was picks, just three pieces in Quentin Grimes, Evan Fournier, and Malachi Flynn, who, they just acquired from the Raptors and the RJ Barrett Emmanuel quickly trade. Um, Not much there, but they definitely got two of the best players on the Pistons to come to the Knicks. Burks was there before. He's back. He's a veteran who could hit some key shots. And Bogdanovich, always been a good 3-point shooter and pretty good at creating his own shot, honestly. Learned a lot from playing with the Pistons. Former net, so play um, a familiar role in New York, just on the Knicks now, which is much hectic, more hectic environment in the Garden, and they'll get on you if you're not playing well. So I I pray for him that he can get off to a nice start. Bogdanovich, that is, because Burks we know can put on shows. He played well with the Knicks. Let's be honest. Bogdanovich, though, he can really, if he can get it going, he'll be well liked in New York for sure. Which I think he's capable of, to be honest. And he showed signs with the Nets. Way too young for anything, though. He played well with the Jazz. A couple of incredible game winners, buzzer beaters. Indianapolis, Detroit, a couple of postseason experiences too, which can help out the Randalls and the Brunsons who have like 2 years of playoff experience, but haven't been good enough in the playoffs. So I think with the talent they have now, they can definitely make it to as at least the second round. Hopefully the third. I am not a Knicks fan, but I honestly hope for the best because they deserve it after a great offseason and switching out the pieces that didn't want to be there, sort of, or didn't have key roles. They got the players now from the Pistons that they needed. And we saw a pretty good performance from Burks and Bogdanovich in their debuts, but they did lose because they didn't have Randall, which if he was going to be out like every now and then, I hope I think they can figure something out without him. Robinson, again, throughout the season has been out. He's going to continue to be out, and Hartenstein's going to have to step up even more than he has been. He's been great, but he's going to have to keep stepping up, and they're going to have to find a way to win without Randall, which I think they can do. With the Nets, they got Dennis Schroeder. Uh, they got Thaddeus Young in that trade from the Raptors, and giving up Dinwiddie was really key. Really inconsistent player. I know his hometown is in the area, home city, but he did not look good on his return back to Brooklyn and playing, the past year. Glad we gave him up. Glad we got Dennis Schroeder, who, in my opinion, even though he's older, he's a more consistent point guard, and he showed it in the first game. Amazing passes, fancy ones, and his shooting was pretty good until the end when he started missing a few, but definitely was better and more consistent than Dinwiddie already through one game. Thaddeus Young, we waived. We've acquired him now 3 different times. That first stint, he was very good, but very outdated player. Sort of same terms as Usher as a singer is relatable to Thaddeus Young, NBA player. Both outdated, both past their prime. They were good at one point, but not anymore. I don't know what's going to happen with Thaddeus Young, but he'll be available. I know Dinwiddie signed with the Lakers, so he's back home, sort of, in California. And we'll see how he can do from there. I hope for the best, but really didn't work out on his return with the Nets. I wished we gave up Dorian Finney-Smith, uh, to the Mavericks or something because he was there before and sort of talked about a reunion. But he's very inconsistent for us. He definitely lost confidence, and I hope he can get it back. Such a nice guy, but he's just lost so much confidence now. Um, and hope he can bounce back again. Phoenix, we had a trade with Royce O'Neal. I wish we got Yuta Watanabe back. He ended up going to the Grizzlies. His second stint with them might get more playing time because he was a backup role with all the star players on the Suns. Really didn't get that much playing time. Uh, Nets got Jordan Goodwin, a couple picks, and Keita Bates-Diop. They waived Goodwin, which I don't know. Maybe as thinking about it's okay, but he's a pretty good, solid backup point guard. Keita Bates-Diop is not known for much, just posting players, getting garbage minutes, which he did in the first game. He scored his first field goal attempt, only field goal attempt, which was good. But yeah, he's not going to get much playing time. Shooter is definitely the guy to look out for us. I think on the defensive end, just having Ben Simmons back, Claxton's been great all season. But having Ben Simmons back is helping us a lot, and he can play make just like Schroeder can. So balancing them out is going to be key. I really am not a fan of Jock Vaughn anymore. Again, nice guy, but he just doesn't show the right rotations or the right message for them because they always give up games late. Lately, it's been a little better, but it's just not quality basketball to watch, honestly. Now having Dinwiddie gone, it might help because Schroeder can be a little better at playmaking and shot making, and Simmons can do his thing. I saw the Dennis connection with Dennis Schroeder and Dennis Smith. They were really connecting well, assisting and scoring and rebounding the ball. They did a little bit of everything. Schroeder with 12 assists, 15 points uh, off the bench, and Ben Simmons had double-digit points, little bit of rebounds and assists, a little bit of mixture, which was good. Claxton has double-double, always consistent with that. Been great of late. And Nets overall have not been good, so it was good to see them get a win versus the 10-win Spurs, who are in last place there. But Wembanyama, we played really well against him. We stopped him for the most part of taking over the game. So we won by 20 that game, and I hope we can build on it. Two tough matchups versus Celtics, who are very hot and have been hot all the season. Only 12 losses on the season. And, good stuff from them. But yeah, next two, one home and the next one away. It's going to be back-to-back days, too. So with the All-Star break coming up, we'll see. They need a well-deserved break. But overall, the two matchups coming up versus Celtics will be key. And key message to who our team is heading into All-Star break. And I look forward to the All-Star break itself also, even though no Brooklyn Net is in it, which I'm okay with, but I like to see them in it. I'm okay with it only because they can, rest and practice and stay, ramping up so they can be ready for the second half, which is going to be key because right now we're in 11th. You need to be 10th at least to make the play in, and then the playoffs come after that. So we'll see how they do. Just quickly, my prediction actually for the All-Star game, I have the West winning, 182 to 163. Just more talent and more overall experience as All-Stars. 3-point contest, I think I predicted Beasley from the Bucks just because he's mainly a 3-point shooter and has been shooting lights out this season. Brunson may make a run, and Lillard, or no, I had Lillard last week. Lillard. So, but Beasley can really fight for that. They both have great 3-point range, and fast reflexes to grab and shoot. It'll be cool to watch. Jalen Rose, his team looks great for Rising Stars Challenge, and I got Mac McClung winning the dunk contest now 2 years in a row. But I can't believe Doc Rivers is coaching the East, and you gotta give all the credit to Chris Finch and the Timberwolves for the great season they're having, and he is the coach of that team. And just for predictions, I can let's quickly go over that. I'm gonna hit that up last, and I'm gonna go with the standings or the rankings I have right now. But let me just load this up. We're gonna wrap up in just a few minutes here. But just to go over the power rankings, Pistons still in last. They had a pretty good offseason, acquiring a few role players. We got the Wizards, we got the Hornets. Grizzlies, with all their injuries, are one of the worst. Spurs, I know they're worse in the West, but they have Wembanyama, so they can make a run at any point. But over the years, I think it will be better for them. Trailblazers, Rockets, Warriors, Curry game winner the other day. I think they can maybe boost up a few spots. So maybe I'll have them up next week. The Raptors, they have a couple of key players. Really not putting together wins though. Utah Jazz are just mediocre. Chicago mediocre. Hawks should be better than they are. The Nets, I still think I have them in the 18th power ranking. I think with Schroeder, Simmons, and Claxton, Cam Thomas, I didn't even mention Bridges. I think we could find something. I don't think we'll make it past into in the postseason without going through the play-in tournament, but I think we'll make a few wins out of this. Hopefully, we can beat some quality teams and make a run at this. but our record stinks right now, and I just hope we can put together some wins. We're not winning the championship. I'm not saying we're making it to the playoffs. I just hopeful that we can make it through the play and into the playoffs by winning a game or two in the play-in. Um, Over us currently have the Magic, the Heat, the Kings, the Lakers, then the Sixers without Embiid are not doing much, and they lost a couple pieces in the trade deadline. They got Buddy Hield. He's going to take a while to get going with his new team, so it'll take a while with that. His old team, the Pacers, in 12. The Mavs, after that last performance, I should definitely move them down in the rankings, but right now I have them in 11th. They got great performances by Gafford and Washington in their debuts. Uh, of the Mavs, they've been in the league, but of the Mavs. Number 10, the Pelicans. Number 9, the Suns. They're gonna keep going at it with their stars. The Cavs have been really hot. I should definitely move them down, and I'll have them down next week, most likely, as they keep their winning streak going, and we only have a few more games till the All-Star break. The Bucks, maybe I would have the Cavs actually now over the Bucks, but for now, the Bucks in 7th, Nuggets in 6th, Thunder, or sorry, 5 is the Knicks. 4 the Thunder, 3 the Timberwolves, 2 the Clippers, and the team that keeps winning, best record in the league, number 1, the Boston Celtics. Porzingis had a great game. Tatum had a great game. Brown had a great game. Holiday had a great game. White's been great all season. You just go down the list, man. These 3-point shooters off the bench. Not even mentioning Horford because he's probably the least productive, but still does stuff. They are just stacked, though, in their roster overall. Yeah, that's for the power rankings. Just the matchups tonight. We have quite a few. Pacers versus Hornets. Hornets actually, their new squad looks good, but the Pacers have overall more talent. I like the Curry reunion with his father. That's Seth Curry, not Steph. Seth Curry went to the Hornets in the trade deadline. So I like the reunion there, but Pacers on the road. I'm going 123 since they are a high scoring team. 123 to 111. I'll go with Indianapolis winning that. Sixers versus Cavs. Cavs are on a hot streak right now, so Cavs definitely. Donovan Mitchell's great. Local kid to New Rochelle or nearby in Elmsford, I heard. So Cavs, high scoring team, 132 to 115. Bulls versus Hawks. I'll take the Hawks at home. I know it's going to be competitive. 115 to 112. I think it will be close, but I got the Hawks at home. So 112 to 115. Spurs versus Raptors. I'll take the Raptors here. Spurs are not looking good at all these last few games. Raptors take it 107 to 101. Really low scoring game there. Pelicans versus Grizzlies. Grizzlies are just disastrous in their roster right now with the injuries. Pelicans are getting it going again. So Pelicans 122 to 104. I'll go with the blowout there. Nuggets at Bucks. I'm hoping the Bucks can pull this off and win 130 to 124. It might be lower scoring since the Nuggets are a good defensive team. The Bucks can be, but they haven't shown any defensive effort this year. So their offense, I think, can power them up in this game. So Bucks there. Knicks versus Rockets. Knicks are stacked and playing well overall, even though they lost their last. I'll go 127 to 118. Knicks win. Wizards versus Mavericks. Gotta go with the Mavericks at home by a bunch. Probably a blowout, 134 to 104. We'll go 30-point win there. I rarely do it, but the Mavericks are stacked. Wizards are clearly not. Warriors at Jazz. I'm hoping the Warriors, after that win versus Phoenix, they have been good lately. Draymond, been playing pretty well. Curry always. Thompson is off, but others picking him up. Kuminga's been great. Warriors won 120 to 108. Timberwolves Clippers, our last matchup tonight at 10:30. Timberwolves Clippers, I got Clippers at home. It's going to be a tight one since they're both really good teams. I'll go with no defense in that game. I'll go with 132 to 128. I'll take the Clippers 128, 132 at home. And that will do it for the NBA stuff. And college basketball is still going well. Iona did lose, but they had won 4 or 5 prior games. Greg Oren's been great. Quickly's been great as a rookie. And, we're boosting up in the standings there. Women's won their last, but they've been unwatchable the last few games, to be honest. I do hope to catch one of their games one day, but they've been not too good as of late. Lacrosse is getting going with practice and not too much else on campus. Yeah, that's really all I wanted to hit up today. This was good for our second week back of the semester, and I look forward to continuing this every week. We do have the same time on Mondays at 4, and we will continue different topics, mainly sports, but as today, presented some neurodiversity stuff. We'll have other stuff and more guests throughout the semester, and I will let you know when that's going to happen or not based on different things I find out. So just be ready for that. Be ready for different stuff in the podcast throughout this semester, as is sadly once again the last semester for me here at Iona, at least that I know of for now. So it's going to be the last series of this podcast in this room, which has been quite a journey, honestly, and it's just changed my whole perspective on things. But really gained some confidence doing this stuff, even on camera with television. Technically, this is on camera, on the mic, live, so it's just great experience and great to be doing this, presenting to you guys, and I appreciate all the viewership and the sort of uh, just the confidence and support. I was looking for the word support behind me and this channel and overall what's going on. So make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe on this episode, and let me know if you want anything for me to do in future episodes as the semester keeps going. And I'll make sure to, do as you request, but while involving the most important stuff, which is sports, neurodiversity, as I presented today, and other things coming up. So yeah, thank you guys. And we'll hopefully see you next week at 4 p.m. next Monday. Thank you again for all your support, and have a great week. Thank you.